Oh, hey guys.
Hey,
Jeez, were you
Castin
bored?
showed up too.
Were
Look
you
at that.
bored? You're early.
And no. Now I'm gonna start coming on. What? What early? You must be sick. Nope. Just because everybody talks trash about me always being late. Now I'm gonna come on maybe early, maybe not
Maybe
early. I might come on.
maybe 20 minutes early.
I might come on. Yeah, 3 minutes early. Maybe you're 3 minutes late.
Yeah, I go to hop on. I'm like, he'll still be BSing. No, it was
Nope.
halfway through the intro.
Nope. I said I'm jumping on right now. I'm having the big one ever here, like Sanford. Well, welcome everybody. Chris with the what are we? Free Casting podcast. I have to get better at my intros. We got Benny, we got Dustin, and we got the Leica guy over there.
Yeah.
As everybody calls him, the Russian now. There you go.
Art of War.
The art of war.
C3, man, nonprofit. I'm about to start rounding up some monies. Oh, speaking of monies, but because August is coming, right? And what happens in August in the fall? The antis come out of their hibernation. What would you call it in the winter? They things that are worth the crap hibernate in the winter. So what do you call it when you hibernate in the summer?
Arizona.
Southeast New Mexico.
Anti-hunters. Mm-hmm. And they know, you know what they know. They know that we're going to be out hunting and all that good stuff. So, and tonight he's on right now, but we got Steve Thomas. This guy does a podcast. It's called Thoughts of a Houndsman. I hope I said that right. I'm going to put him on.
Dogman. Isn't it Dogman?
Dogman, yes. He already messed it up. I'm just going to bring him on. I'm already messing it up.
Yeah,
Steve.
Well, there you go. He can straighten you right up.
Yeah.
Well,
we have.
Chris, how are you, sir?
We have all the bull crap from the Virginia side over there up in the top right corner. So now we're gonna what are you northeast? What are you guys? Midwestern? Iowa, right?
Yep. I mean, we right in the Midwest. We're right in the Midwest.
Midwest. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't think we had anybody in Midwest before, have we?
Well, I lived there once.
I've drove through it.
I lived in Indiana for a long time.
I went to Kansas and Missouri to arrest somebody, to try to arrest somebody. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts. That counts.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes, sir.
What time is it there? You at 9 o'clock?
It's 8 o'clock. It is.
Oh,
8.
is it? Oh, heck, it's
o'clock on
early
the
then.
dot. It ain't even dark yet. It ain't even dark yet.
Yeah. I noticed this morning I got up. It didn't really start getting light till almost 5. Maybe it's the cloud coverage or something.
Yeah.
So I usually was trying to beat 4:30 to go out and elk hunt in the mornings, but it was kind of dark at 4:45. And then Brandon thought it was Tuesday and took his wife to dinner.
Oh.
So I said,
They only eat
never-
once a week.
Yeah, I said, you never plan up on Wednesdays. He said, man, I thought it was Tuesday. I asked her yesterday to go to dinner.
Oh, man.
So that's what happens when you sit around all day.
Yeah, I think his mind's been going 100 miles an hour, and it's a little fried.
Well, I think he's bored sitting at home trying to do as much as he can before he gets hunting.
Yep.
Well, then why doesn't he come over here? I could use some help.
Hey, he probably would if you told him.
You would, man. If you asked him, he'd show up.
So we'll go through some stuff where we get with Mr. Thomas there, but we got the hound auction, horses, hounds, and mules auction in, what is that called?
Hesperus, Colorado.
Hesperus, Colorado. I did get rooms reserved today because I was calling other people when I couldn't. He wouldn't call me back, so I got nervous, and then I got a good military discount, so that helped out a lot.
There you
And
go.
then we got the rendezvous in August. We got hound trials next weekend. If you're in Arizona, we have the August 22nd, 23rd, 24th is a hound rendezvous. Brandon's tearing it up on sponsors and donations. Holy moly.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
You give that boy something to do when he's at home and thinking about hunting but can't hunt. He goes for it.
Who is that in the bottom here, guys? Holy crap.
Dude, I swear. The longer he's in Nevada, the uglier and uglier he gets.
It's a true story.
Hey, why don't you tell everybody how many horses you have now?
3.
Too bad he can't
There you
sit.
go.
Yep. So he went to Nevada and he bought a horse in Arizona.
I did yesterday.
Yeah, a Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
In Nevada, that has what, 10 million Mustangs out over there? You could probably pick up for $1.
Yeah, like $150.
Yeah. Nope. All the way in Arizona. But it's going to be a good deal.
Yeah, hopefully it works out. The horse came out in Nevada.
The lady didn't want it only because it wouldn't run up to the gate
To
when
meet
she
her.
got there. She wanted
So-
something.
Yeah, literally, she put it up for sale. It was under saddle, and she wanted $600 for it. And I was like, "Okay, how bad does he buck?" And she's like, "He doesn't." I'm like, "Well, why are you selling him?" And she's all, "He's not friendly to me. He doesn't come up and meet me at the gate. He's not in my pocket."
She
Okay.
better never try a mule.
That's
Right?
that's everybody and every dog that Jared owns. Not friendly.
That's true.
No, people want them horses in their pocket, but those are trail riders. Those are people that are afraid that their mule or horse can run off. Me and Brandon were talking today, and he said he has one he can't hardly catch sometimes. And I said, shoot, when my mule's in a pen, I can't catch her. I've dropped the reins out in the hills, and she hasn't ran off on me yet. But I don't know. She definitely ain't in my pocket.
It's not a fun day when that happens. I can tell you that.
Nope.
That happened once.
Crap.
It was not long after I'd been married a few years. My wife, growing up, she did the whole, and I did a little, but she showed horses, them fancy, Western pleasure.
Dressage.
No, not that. More Western style, but
That's bottom of the barrel right there.
yeah, like she did that. And so we were up deer hunting and I needed a horse to ride. So I took that show horse and rode it up in the mountains and tied it up. But this was back when I don't know how old. Anyways, didn't tie a good knot. This horse got loose and that some bitch took off. But the worst part was it didn't go back to the truck. It had followed my tracks where I had went out to a point and sat for an hour and looked for deer and then left, and it got stuck out on that point. So I had to go find it.
Oh boy.
Luckily, I didn't have to walk all the way back to the truck because I've had to do that, but not with horses. That's been with side-by-sides.
You leave a collar in the saddlebag at least.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I've been stranded more by vehicles than my horses.
So I walked out 9 miles one day from a side-by-side that blew a fuse and there wasn't an extra fuse in it.
Man, I would have shot my 22 and
I was pissed.
that casing and made me a fuse.
And it was cold. It was in Utah in the winter, so by the time someone picked me up, my mustache was frozen to my beard from breathing, so I couldn't even open my mouth all the way because my mustache hairs froze to my beard hairs. Oh, it was cold. It was like -6 when I started cutting tracks that day. It was horrible.
Yeah, too cold. You can stick to that snow hunting.
Yeah, I'm good. That's why I came south.
Rough deal, man.
All righty, let's get to Mr. Thomas here. Now you got to tell us about yourself, where you're from.
I live in basically Waterloo, Iowa area, Midwest. I actually grew up in Rockford, Illinois. Again, that's Midwest.
You said Rockford?
Yep, Rockford, Illinois.
That's where my wife's from.
No kid.
Yeah. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Well, it's good she got. I love them. Don't get me wrong. I love Rockford, but I was glad she probably got out of there. It ain't always the nicest place sometimes.
No,
Well,
no.
let's be
no,
clear, Chris. Chris, is this current or before?
Which one?
Wife.
Which wife?
My current
Yeah, that-
Okay.
Yeah.
One of my current
I
wives.
thought we were gonna have the Three Stooges going on.
Yep. No. She tells me about stories when her and her sister used to run over to Chicago and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Her sister wasn't exactly a perfect angel, but here's some stories. And then I found you on a podcast.
Yep. So I got a podcast, Thoughts of a Dog Man. Actually, I really just started it. I'm probably, about 15 episodes in. And it's kind of just one of those things you just go for, really. I promised myself I'm gonna do 52 episodes. I'm gonna do it once a week for a year and just see what happens, And I think it's been going pretty well so far.
You'll
Again,
never get out of it.
What's that?
You'll never get out of it. Trust me. I've been doing it for 2 years.
Yeah. And I
Me
feel
and
like
Jared.
once you get into it and you get your kind of routine and get the flow for it, you kind of enjoy it. You get people watch and comment, and now you start building those relationships with different people. And talking about dogs, man, I can talk about dogs all day long. So that's already in my wheelhouse. So I'm all right with that.
Well, on this show, we talk about dogs, or try to, and then we get into all kinds of stuff. I should have named it the rabbit hole, but I should have named it.
Yeah.
So what kind of dogs you hunt and what you hunting?
So I mainly run beagles. I do a lot of rabbit hunting here in Iowa. I run my beagles on rabbits, and then I have American Leopard curs. Some people call them hounds. Depends on who you ask them and what day you ask them on. But they're tree dogs. I use them for coons. They'll tree squirrels. I actually got a good buddy out in North Dakota who I sold some pups to. He uses on mountain lions. I got buddies that run them on bear. They'll run them on hogs down south. I mean, those leopards really can do dang near anything you want them to. I got a guy who hunts them on bobcat. I mean, they'll pretty much hunt whatever you want.
Good deal. How long you been running dogs?
Oh, so I've been hunting my whole life, but I really only been with dogs probably like 10 years. And I got into that when I was in college, pretty much. I was dating a lady at the time, and her uncle was really big into dogs, really big, and he knew I liked to hunt. And my family, we always, rabbit hunt and stuff like that. But back then, you could walk the railroad tracks. We would walk railroad tracks off the edges, and kick around in brush piles. Me and my brother, my dad, my uncles. And we were the dogs. Before I had dogs, me and my brothers, we were the dogs. My dad point, hey, you need to get down in that brush and kick around. And that's how we got our rabbits up. Squirrel hunting, we started out still hunting like most people. You just go find a tree to lean up against and keep your eyes open, try not to fall asleep, and see if you can knock down a squirrel or two. But I was dating a lady at that time, and her uncle was really big into dogs. And he took me squirrel hunting. He took me squirrel hunting for the first time. He had a mountain cur, original mountain cur dog. And we went squirrel hunting. And again, I had never been before. Again, I was always just still hunting, that sort of thing. And man, watching those dogs work. Where I'm from, like, we normally had pit bulls and Rottweilers and stuff like that, So like seeing my dad train our pit bull to do certain things, when I saw this hunting dog be able to do what he was able to do, and we probably shot 6 or 7 squirrels that day. But it built a curiosity that I didn't even know I had, really. And I started asking a lot more questions. So then after that, he pretty much took me coon hunting. And that's when I saw, a leopard dog for the first time. Had no idea what the heck a leopard dog was. I was familiar with like blue ticks. I was familiar with walkers and some of the, normal coon dogs, I would say. And man, and her name was Maggie. When I saw Maggie operate, I think we shot 12 coons that night, and she hunted by herself. She singled all, and she didn't miss. And I was hooked. That was it for me. And and I've never been at night. I'm like, he's like, we're gonna go out at night. I got a spot. I'm like, go out at night. Like, what are we doing out there at night? Like, what's going on here? So yeah, I'm walking behind him and I hear the dog tree and he's all, yeah, she's locating. I'm like, locating what? Like what? Like I have no clue what's really going on, but I was curious. And she let out now I know what it is. She let out a beautiful ball locate, man. And I was just so fascinated.
Suck you in to the
So
depths.
fast. Oh man, it was over. It was over. We walked in there and he's shining. And I just had a little walking light at the time, getting slapped in the face with tree branches, falling over logs, just everything. And we finally got to the tree and she just sawing them off. I mean, just everywhere, just letting them roll. And we looked up there and I could just see those little eyes. And I'm thinking, like, what the heck is up there? And he had his big light and saw the coon up there and shot it out. And man, I knew at that moment I needed one of them. I didn't know nothing about it, but I wanted to learn everything there was about coon hunting, and that was it.
Well, that's kind of like marijuana, a gateway to other drugs.
There you go.
Wait till you come do some lion hunting.
That too. I got yet to do bear. I'm gonna do bear hunting this fall. I got a guy invited me to do that, so I'm curious. And mountain lions or bobcat, that's next. So I'm definitely gonna take you up on that.
You come there, we'll let you follow Jared around for a little bit.
Oh shit!
Hey, Jared's got horses.
Nobody wants to go see cactus and sand all day.
That's true.
Hey, he does see tracks.
Well, he sees that. I mean, just enough to get you excited and then piss you off later on in the day.
Yeah, after a full day of walking all day.
Yeah, it don't take long. It don't take much once you get to your first tree, no matter what it is, whether it's a squirrel or raccoon or a lion or bear. Once you get that bug, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It gets crazy.
My mentor, he calls it the disease. It's an incurable disease. Once you get it, unlike some situations, it's something you can't get rid of on the good side of things. Sometimes some other stuff you can't get rid of, you don't really want. But he's like, it's the best disease you can get.
No, it's like a drug. You go to rehabilitation, you get out of dogs, and you'll be back.
Yeah.
You always come back. I see people get rid of dogs and sell all their gears and their trucks, and 2 years later, that's about 2 years, huh? And then you see them. Anybody got a dog or anybody got any alphas? Or they're back looking. They're back looking. So do you have kids?
I do not yet. No.
Good, smart man. Finally, a smart man.
I gotta free up my time just yet. I know it's gonna happen and it may restrain, so I gotta enjoy it while I can at the moment.
Yeah, Jared don't have no kids either. Well, his wife has a kid.
Yeah, she takes care of me pretty much every day.
Yep. I heard him today. So.
Oh yeah.
She's babysitting him.
She had to put up with me all day today.
Are you guys allowed to deer hunt over there with dogs or no?
No. That in Iowa, so depending on who you ask, most people say the Midwest, we usually have a lot of whitetail. Like whitetails are a prime animal that most people come here to hunt, or most people do hunt. We usually grow because it's a lot of ag is really what it is. So there's a lot of big deer that are grown here, and people want to harvest them. But man, if you get caught running a deer with a dog, or somebody see that's almost against everything you could think of around here. That's a big no type of thing. A lot of places that you might have access to hunt during deer season, they won't let you go in there. They will not let you in there. And people that want to run dogs. Most of the time, we don't want our dogs running deer. If we're trained on a specific animal, we don't want them. But you could try to explain to somebody too, like when the dogs are not chasing the deer are gonna come right back in there. They're not actively being chased. It doesn't bother them but they don't want to hear nothing for it. So, during that time of year, a lot of places you may be able to hunt, they ain't gonna let you in there until after deer season.
I think that's the same with any varmint, any mammal, bears, lions. They all come back. They all circle back around.
Yep.
Every one of them. So just like, in Arizona, they say we run the jaguar out of United States to Mexico, but for one, they don't live here. They just visit here. They come over here and take a piss and get away from the females, and because we don't have females here, just a male every once in a while, and then they go back. We don't run them out. They go where they want to go. Those lions, wolves, coyotes. I've chased coyotes out of fields 100 times to go back the next day, and they're there hunting gophers again.
Yep.
So,
You ever run night hunts over there?
Yep. There's Iowa, especially in the Midwest, we usually have a decent amount of clubs where they run the UKC night hunts mainly. We got some NKC depending on how far you go. Luckily in Iowa, we have a club, the Iowa Treetop Cur and Feist. It was the NKC club. Great group of guys. That was actually one of my first trials I ever went to was a NKC trial. And those guys taught me so much. I'm good friends with them to this day. But it's a lot of UKC mainly.
Yeah. Not too much PKC up in Iowa, huh?
It's not as big. We do have some, like you'll go on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. Some clubs will host them. But honestly, it's really not as, big as some other place like down south. I know they have them quite a bit, like all the time.
Or you get over Illinois or Indiana and there's one every night of the week.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, in Arizona, you don't treat 12 coons in a night. And if you do, that's the only coons that were probably in that county.
Oh,
You don't have that many,
Oh, man. In the Midwest, like I said, it's all ag. So it's getting to the point now to where they are opening it up on private land. Coon season is open year round just because the numbers are getting out of hand. Obviously, the fur market is not, what it used to be at one point in time. And a lot of, our fur market, they're not even taking them. We have a guy that drives around in fur market. He used to go up to the small town and you can cash in your fur. Like, he's not even taking coons, and unless they're really big. So our numbers are ridiculous. But 12 coons in a night here, that's nothing. But the flip side of it, you got to have a smart dog because there's so many coons. If you don't have a smart dog, he'll slick tree a lot because those coons are constantly moving up and down those trees all night.
South Dakota's got a bounty on coons. Or they did. I should say that.
Who was it?
South Dakota. I think they had like a $7 or $5 bounty per tail.
Yeah. There was, when I was in Utah, there were certain counties that were doing that as well. It was $10 a tail.
We had rumors of that around here too, but it wasn't quite that much. Now, if it was that much, people would probably be more interested. But I think ours was maybe only $1 or $2. I think at one point maybe only 50 cents really for a tail.
Yeah, in the 100,000 hunt a couple of weeks ago, they scored. I know in my cousin's semifinal round, they scored on 9 coons in an hour and a half. 4 dogs.
Yeah.
Right there at Salem, Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois, especially, they have a lot of good clubs, especially in Southern Illinois. I got some good buddies who run like the Florida Coon Cubs there. Man, and I got a buddy who we're pretty much on the same team. Like we partner together with Leopards. They're not a huge breed, so our team is basically trying to get them out there a little bit more, let people understand or know what a leopard is, because a lot of people never heard about them, and kind of promote the breed and that sort of thing. And he lives down in Southern Illinois, and I've driven over there and hunt. Oh my goodness, the coon there are. I think there's a lot of coon in Iowa. Illinois is ridiculous. It's even more. It is even more.
Southern Illinois, northern Missouri, it's crazy right there.
Yep.
Around Bethany or even go to La Plata or something. That's wild.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I get pictures from a friend in Oklahoma, and they got a feeder out, and there's 30, 40 coons on a corn feeder. Crazy.
Yeah, that's like our actual fields here. A lot of farmers are getting mad because obviously it's messing with their money and just tearing up the crops. But it's nothing to have the first 3 or 4 rows, and we got decent sized cornfields tore up with coons. They just go. Every night they just hammer every single night. They're in there.
What about your bear population over there?
We don't. It's an anomaly if you see a bear here. Now, when you get up, to the Wisconsin border and up in Minnesota, they may cross the border a little bit, but rare. Honestly, we don't have a lot of bear at all in Iowa.
So you guys don't have a season or nothing to hunt them, or?
Nope.
Nope. What about lions? Because I know Nebraska's been getting lions more and more through the years.
Yep. And
Nebraska's got a season now.
Yeah, they're starting to migrate this way to where it's not uncommon, coming up from Missouri or whatever, you might see a mountain lion there. Yeah, from Nebraska coming over, but it's not like an everyday thing at all. I don't think we have a season on them yet. We just don't see them that much. We got a ton of coyotes, decent population of bobcat, but no mountain lions really.
Can you run coyotes with dogs over there?
Yep.
Is there a lot of coyote runners?
It's starting to get more popular. It definitely is. To where though the bad side is there's a lot, and I don't know if you guys will deal with it a little bit too. It's starting to be a transition to where a lot of fields and places that you can hunt, like the people who own them are either retiring from farming or selling or whatever the case, and now there's a group of people buying up all these properties that they don't want no dogs on it, they don't want you to hunt on it, they don't want any of that. So obviously, a coyote is going to run a certain pattern. They're going to run, crossing over some of those lines. So some people are starting to get upset because of running coyotes with dogs.
Do y'all have a right to retrieve?
Yep.
I
We
thought
do.
so.
Yep. As long as you leave the firearm on the other side, if you're carrying a firearm, as long as you leave the firearm on the other side of the border or the fence, you're good to go. You got to take the most direct route to your animal to retrieve them and then back out.
Yeah, I don't feel like we have a lot of private property issues like they do back east.
No, not as much.
We have a lot of public land.
We do, and
they have to post it here, or else we can hunt on it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the biggest issue you'll run into, especially in Arizona, is res.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like hunting on the border down there. I almost rather walk into Mexico than the reservation.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mr. Thomas, I got a question that doesn't have anything to do with hounds.
Yes, sir.
Me and some folks in the cafe were just shooting lies and stories the other day, and detasseling corn came up. Do they still detassel corn?
Yep.
That send kids out there, or you got to be grown up now?
No, they still now it's backed off a whole lot, but yes, you still can. In some areas where they'll do like a summer job or whatever, they still have.
Yeah, I was 12 years old and I was detasseling corn.
But you're gonna have to expound on that, Benny.
Yeah, I know. I'm
what
trying
the
to figure
hell
out.
what is
There's only two things I think about when you say tassels. One is graduation.
Yeah,
one good.
No.
Pull the top out of the corn plant.
Yeah, Benny's got it. Yeah, circles.
No, and when I was a kid, I lived in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and
okay, yeah.
So they would send a machine down through the corn rows. Like I think they had 4 rows of corn that they cut the tops out of and left 2 rows of corn growing the tassels, and it was their way of controlling the hybrid corns. So the tassels were, they told us as kids, those are the male plants. The female plants didn't have tassels. And when the plants were too short, the ones that the machine missed, they sent all of us little kids down through the field and tore the tops out of them where they missed them. And man, we were big potatoes back then, got to ride the bus and carry our lunch and screw with each other on the bus. The kids that had smoked knew that I didn't like it, so they blew smoke in my face. And I'd take a break at the end of the row. I think those rows were 1,800 miles long back then. And then I'd get those little blow up sticks and I'd pack their cigarettes full of them some bitches. And on the ride home, everybody's cigarettes was blowing up. But yeah, that's detasseling corn.
Okay.
That's the same here, I guess. Back in the day, they had the harvesters, the cotton harvesters, and they didn't really pick as good. So all my friends' parents were farmers, so we'd go through and we'd pick up as much cotton as we could, and they'd buy it from us. They'd pay for you to walk through and get all that stuff that was on the ground and all the leftover stuff. So you can make good money just walking through with the bag and picking it up. All the leftover stuff, because those cotton harvesters weren't that great. Now they strip them pretty good now, and there ain't no kids they're all lazy and no good for nothings now. So no one wants to work.
Did you see that, Mr. Thomas? How easy that was for me just to jump down a rabbit hole and we continued.
Oh,
Hey, I'm here for it. I'm loving it.
yeah, I told him. I think I told him, man. We just talk about whatever comes up.
Hey,
I remember being a kid in South Dakota. We would pull. Everyone would spray their bean fields for killing volunteer corn, and my uncle would make us go out and hike around his bean fields and pull all the volunteer corn out because it's supposed to look like corn or a bean field, not a cornfield.
Now, if you were smart, you would have dug them up, replanted them, and sold them for 25 cents a piece or something to somebody.
Right.
Man, with the plan.
I'm going to mention this real quick because you remember that magazine we're going to raffle off or trying to raffle off?
Mm-hmm.
This magazine is 1949, and it has Marvin Glenn in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kelly Glenn Kimbrough is throwing this stuff in.
Wow.
Signed
by Warner. Yeah.
That's cool.
A poster, kind of a bigger poster of the Jaguar he got.
Yep.
I don't know what
That's
this is.
Jaguar.
I think this is a.
It's just a.
I think it's a poster too,
Or something.
but I believe it's going to be signed as well. This, Eyes of Fire,
That's about the first Jaguar.
Yep.
and that's going to be signed. A copy of this signed by Warner Glenn.
That looks.
Yeah, and I think this is the article that's in it, or there's an article. Hunting Guide.
That-
Yeah.
That Jaguar right there is the second Jaguar he caught.
So that's 6 other items, some of them signed by Warner Glenn himself. And that's going to go with this magazine with Martin Glenn in it, his father.
Marvin.
From
You win that, boys, and you'll automatically catch twice as many lions. I'm telling you, read them.
Yep.
I just want to touch them.
And so if you guys want to put in on that raffle, just go to azwda.com, go to the raffle page, and start putting in, and you'll get all 7 items. So there you go. A little advertising. Got to make that money for them. Are you guys, you're anti-hunters real bad over there?
No, I would not. I wouldn't say they are. Most people around here, especially deer hunting, we can do a lot of party hunting. Well, we could do a lot of party hunting as far as deer hunting go. There's nothing to see. You know, most families have deer hunted once or twice in their life, so it's not super big over here. No.
They don't give you much problems at all then?
No, now you get to some of our bigger cities, you may run into more issues. But most of the population of Iowa, they understand. It's kind of part of living here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got any questions for this guy that runs rabbits?
Do y'all have? Okay, this might be a weird question. So, do y'all actually have like cottontails in Arizona, or is it like jackrabbits?
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
So right now I live in the city, and I tell you what, you come walk around my house every morning. I go for a walk just to get some steps in, so I don't get chubby. And I bet you I see 10 cottontails every morning, and that's in houses.
No, yeah, in city, I'm talking like you, paved, gated community stuff.
Everywhere.
There's more coyotes, javelina, and rabbits.
I saw.
and
saw
bobcats.
So in this place we live, they kind of have like these grassy areas, kind of like a little park or whatever. There was 2 coyotes just sitting there staring at us as we walked past them at 5:30 in the morning. Not a care in the world. 50 yards from me.
You'll see
About
them
every
hit
time.
60.
About every
right?
time I leave my neighborhood, we'd be rigging bobcats down here in this corner by the golf course. About every time. Joker would be sitting on the fence. Like,
Yep.
it's crazy.
Oh yeah, I got one of them ring cameras, and on the app, people like report bobcats or mountain lions or whatever. I'm sitting here like putting pins where all the people are putting. Problem is there's houses everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I get ring camera pictures all the time out of the golf course over there of a line coming through, and the only problem is where they come out. I got about not even a mile in some areas, if not 600 yards, before they hit reservation. So you got to get their sun up and kind of poke around, and maybe I don't think he goes too far because he just goes in there and kills all them javelina and rabbits and skunks and deer on the golf course. And a lot of elk. There's a lot of elk come through there. So, and right now it's all calving season. So you're seeing a bunch of calves. So they're keeping their tummies full. Definitely.
I got to jump off, fellas. Wife got in a wreck last night. I'm home now, so I got to get her and get her took care of and get these dogs fed and everything for her.
You're so sweet. How sweet.
Yeah. She got her car totaled last night, so she ain't feeling too good.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Just remember, she's going to hate you when she feels better either way. So, all right. Sounds good. Thanks.
Later.
There we go. Goodbye,
There's
Derek.
not a lot of, we got a lot of Cottontails here, but honestly, there's not a whole lot of people. It's become more popular that run rabbits with beagles in Iowa. And I hunt 98% public for the most part. And majority of public here in Iowa, if you go and drop some dogs, you can run some rabbits. You can definitely run some rabbits.
How much public land you guys got over there? You got quite a bit, or is it more private?
I would say it's quite a bit, but it's not like huge tracts of timber. So like our creeks and waterways and rivers, there's a lot of public down along there. Pheasants are becoming, they taking care of the pheasant population here, so they're pretty big. It's starting to come back, so there's a lot more fields and edges and stuff like that you can hunt. But I would say we have a decent amount of public throughout the whole state, and usually they manage it pretty well, to where anything you're looking to hunt, you can find it on a piece of public.
Good deal. So, your biggest game there, is it deer?
Yeah, it's whitetail. Whitetail.
You need to come to Arizona, see how much public land we got.
Oh, I can only imagine. That's one thing on my bucket list. I want to shoot an elk at some point, and I want to shoot a mountain lion with some dog, a pack of dogs, and get on some bear.
Yeah, but even where he lives, with all the amount of public versus private, I guarantee you he sees more deer than you'll ever see come out way.
Oh yeah. There's no, it's nuts.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
In the 90s, we had doe tags. Like you could shoot a doe or a buck, but they I don't know if it's the drought. I don't know if it's the number system with Game and Fish. They just overhunted them. I don't know if people are doing the over-the-counter hunt and shooting more than they should, but our deer population is not very good. In my opinion, there's some good units up like Kaibab and Coos Deer's a bunch down south, and I'm not a big trophy hunter, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not after the antlers. Like I can hunt elk 6 months out of the year in my backyard. Like I go to the golf course right now, and for the next, it's 4 months. It was a month of anything. It was like 3 months of bull only, and then in August it's cow only. You want to come shoot an elk, you can come here.
But those are kind of like landowner, like depredation kind of style there, right, Chris?
Yeah, basically. It's not landowner. You still can't hunt the private land, and half the people who whine about it, golf course and farms, won't let you hunt there.
Yeah.
So it's like, why? I think a lot of the whining was to get their family to hunt there or their friends.
Yeah.
You just got to know the area really good, because there's a lot of people that they get tickets and lose their animal because they're too close to a house, and I know I've hunted this place 30 years, so I know exact spots I can shoot them from and be the 440 yards. So a lot of those people come up from the valley or somewhere else, and they're shooting them over here in this and it's cedar trees. You can't see nothing in cedar trees. I've lost herds of 100 elk in cedar trees. I always told everybody they put their head in the dirt and become a cedar tree.
Yeah.
it's kind of a tough unit, but I live right here, so I can get up any morning. Right now, I can go out right now and catch them coming into like the golf courses or the waters, ranch waters, or the rancher's house that has alfalfa. So
yeah, that's a heck of a good place in the morning.
yep, but no, we always Derek's gone now. We talk crap about him because he's one of them.
Yeah, freaking
He's one of the back east boys.
out west, out east hillbilly that runs weird dogs.
But you get out here and do some lion hunting. I don't know what you've heard about us, but it's probably true for the most.
Well, and so earlier you were talking about the leopard dogs, and honestly, there's not very many places nowadays that you don't see a leopard dog or two. You know, and I know some guys that run them consistently up in Idaho on bears. They use them for lions as well.
Yep.
I don't see as many of them kind of in these southern areas that do more of the dirt, but definitely they're out west and they're doing well. They're thriving for sure. I mean, and even back east, you know, guys using well. It's what's his name that does the other podcast?
Ben Sheets.
Yes, Ben.
That's my buddy.
Yep. Yeah, Ben's a good dude. I've talked to Ben a few times. He runs some leopards, does really well with them. Like it's a breed that's starting to definitely gain traction. And there's no mistaking when you see one, for sure.
I've seen a lot of ranchers running them on the cattle.
Definitely.
Yeah, they use them from catching the mavericks. Like what's his name? Derek Begay.
Yeah.
That, I mean, he's the NFL roper, but he uses them a lot on the reservation to catch them the mavericks. I think them and blackmouth curs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And sometimes, so there's a breed called a Catahoula, which looks similar to a leopard. At least they got the leopard spots. But they're more of a, I would say like a houndier build. And their mindset is a little different to where like the Midwest are like tree and leopard dog. They're more tree minded to where like if you get a Catahoula, they're more they'll bay. They're more of a protection dog. They work the cattle and that sort of stuff. They don't necessarily have as much of a tree mindedness as like a Midwest or out east leopard dog.
Typically,
get it.
Yeah, typically with them Catahoulas, you see a lot of them pig dogs, hog dogs.
Yeah, that too. Yep.
Very much.
Yep.
You know, I bred one of my dogs to a Catahoula, and I kind of bred them for the desert. And but man, they've been doing really good on bear. And I actually just bred the Catahoula I run. I have one in the yard for coyotes and kind of guardian dog, I guess. But I have the one I run on bear and lion, and I just bred my dirty dog to her. So I'm hoping she's real fast. They're real fast. You're right. They like that tree, and dirty's real slow. So I'm hoping to maybe put a little speed in the dirty and slow her down. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I like how dirty works the track, and I love how she's really fast.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
And I think you guys are absolutely right. Where there's a group of leopards who are out west who are thriving, like you said, on the bears, the mountain lions, and that sort of stuff. And then there's another group out east that are pretty much on bear. In the Midwest, that's where, at one point in time, they were real dominant in the Midwest as far as in tree and coons and whatnot. And that's what we're trying to kind of build back up. Because I think, like I said, I think they're more capable. But those dogs out west, 1,000%, they are some monsters out there, especially for the terrain that they got to run and work on.
And if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong on the timeline, but didn't they just get recognized as kind of like the American leopard hound itself as a breed?
Yep. I think it was like 2008. I want to say 2008.
I knew it was. I didn't know how long ago it was, but I knew that they'd kind of got their own breed established.
And that too, it kind of divided up a little bit because they were always under that cur breed. And then when they added that hound to it, some guys who were stood on the cur side of it, they disliked the choice because they felt like they didn't have a choice in making that decision to make them hounds or not. Because I don't actually think they're in, a hound. The way they build, the way they operate, and how they move is not really like a hound, in my opinion. But they got all the skills to do whatever you want them to do. But
Yeah.
the build, you know, you look at most hounds, they're more streamlined. They got whip tails, long ears, and that sort of thing. Where you got the cur dog, they usually have, you know, shorter ears. They
Yeah.
can move their ears. Just the builds of them.
Yep.
But obviously, with now, you know, some people like because they can hunt them in the UKC hunts and whatnot. But that was definitely a staple in the leopard breed, where it kind of divided some things. I mean, then we're trying to bring it back together.
Definitely. So where you know Ben and his podcast. Did you listen to the one where he did with a guy out of Idaho named Max Hess?
I did not.
So Max runs some leopard dogs, and honestly, there's some houndy looking suckers too.
Mhm.
And he does fairly well with them. You know, Max is a great guy. Hunts hard, hunts a lot of bears, does some lions, but he's had really good success. And he runs some other dogs with his leopards, but they're definitely kind of more of a racy build.
Yep.
But definitely got that longer ear to them too that, you know, doesn't look as curish. So
Mhm.
I don't know where he's quite getting them from, but I mean, he's really liked them, had some good success with them too. So that's a good episode to go listen to that Ben did as well.
Oh yeah, Ben does an excellent. I mean, on all his podcasts and just the research he does. I mean, he's like a dang encyclopedia, really. He remembers the pedigree. He remembers so much, and he's helped me out quite a bit. And he was one of the staples why I decided to do a podcast too. He definitely knows what he's talking about, and always runs a great show too.
Yeah, I did one with him, kind of like in his early years before he even kind of sent him out to W for a little while and then came back. I did one with him a long time ago, and it was like he's top-notch guy for sure. Little bit better podcaster than Chris here.
Way better. I never claimed to be nothing good. Is Autumn Oaks in Iowa?
That's in Ohio.
No, it's in Indiana.
Indiana.
And then everybody's asking about your dang beagles.
Yeah,
what are you running as far as beagles?
What line of beagles?
Oh, I usually run a lot of Branco. A lot of stuff of mine goes back to Branco dogs. I just like them. I got some of that Reggie blood in there as well. Obviously, he's been gone for a long time, but a lot of mine really goes back to the Branco. I got some lumberjack in my breeding. Got some Alibaba. I got some Hilly Prop. He was a huge staple in Beagles. I have a decent shot of him in a lot of what I run. Jack of all trades, I have some of him as well. So a lot of mine go back to Branco dogs.
We should have Missy on here.
Wendy Hills,
she's not even chiming in.
Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry.
Benny, you're muted or something. Nobody can hear you.
Wendy Hills out of Kentucky. Wendy Hills Blue Tick Beagles. Mr. Charles Thompson down there. They run some great dogs. I've gotten quite a few dogs from him. Yeah, that's really, and I like more the upper medium speed dogs, because in the Midwest, we have our challenges. Like, we don't get a ton of snow, but we get enough to where you gotta have, you know, a dog that can maneuver in it. I like 14 to 15 inch beagles mostly. I know some people down south can get away with the 12 inch or 13s. Up here, when we do get snow, we get snow. So if you don't have something that can run in that snow, you may run into some issues with a smaller dog sometimes. I like that. And I tried a little bit, and I'm getting more into it. I got, you know, hunting beagle champs and that sort of stuff. But I just love at this point, man, I just love harvesting rabbits and just taking people who ain't never been before. Here in Iowa, we have Iowa Outdoor Mentors, to where you can, you know, sign up with Steph Lanes. She does awesome. If you on social media and want to like their page, that will help out a lot too. Steph Lanes run outdoor or Iowa Mentors, to where they do everything. I mean, duck hunt, goose hunt, fishing, run dogs, all that. So I started getting more into that, taking kids who never rabbit hunted with beagles before, coon hunting with dogs before. We used to take some of those people and trying to pass on what we all were taught once upon a time.
That's the key.
Neat.
Youth is the key.
Yep.
Because it's less and less every day.
Yeah.
that somebody's not hunting, or their parents did, and then they get the job and they become adults, which is boring, and then they don't really pass it on, and later on their kids 20s bump into a college friend. Oh, I used to run dogs, or I used to, and they get with somebody and get out there and hunt again. There's been 100 people I asked, thousands. You're like, you hunt? I used to, and, and then they feel like they had kids and have a house payment and they can't hunt no more. But hunting ain't cheap no more either.
And that's why I kind of like introducing that again. And that was another big reason why I started the podcast too, is really try to help people, who never got into it, who may not. I was lucky enough and fortunate to have a mentor who was there with me the whole time. He taught me, from training tree dogs to training my beagles. And then you learn a lot as you just, get a love for it. But we got to try to remember too, like I try to remember back when I was first starting, like, dang, I wish there was something somebody told me, that I need to learn. It's like my mentor, he may not want to get online like we are, but he has so much knowledge. And I always try to tell people, it's like, man, you got people in your circle around you that's so much knowledge when it comes to dogs. All you got to do is listen, be a sponge. Like once a person feels like they're actually listening to them, you take heed to what they're saying, man, you can learn so much. And that's how we pass it on. Like you just said, it's no secret that, hunting with dogs and hunting in general, it's not as sexy as it used to be. We got to try to figure out a way to keep it going, because there's people out there secretly trying to take this stuff away from us that we love so much, that we grew up doing, that if we don't work together and band together and try to get more youth into it, it's going to be taken, because they're the future when it's all said and done. And if, the people are still here, older, veterans doing it, you take some of that information that they got and put it into the youth, I'm telling you, it'll save us in the long run. I really believe.
The thing is technology, and then when you're on TikTok and you're not looking up hunting stuff, you're getting all the anti-hunting stuff. So then they start playing all those videos that we tell people not to post, and they say it's First Amendment, we do what we want, and those kids are seeing these bad videos that make them look worse. And then if that's all they're watching, then they're going to get that taste in their mouth as far as hunting's bad. But most of your kids these days, I mean, a lot of them, I mean, my kids, I got a set of 10-year-old twins, and they drive a stick. I let them drive a stick. I taught them how to drive a stick already. Some of these kids don't even know how to drive a go-kart. Like, it's crazy.
Well,
I'm seeing
anymore, like a stick is an anti-theft device.
that's a fact.
That's what we call them.
That's
what we call them. I've been in law enforcement 8 years now. That's exactly what we call them.
Oh,
like,
how'd I know it?
It's another Jeremy. It's another Jeremy.
Oh man, I'll answer Tim's question real quick. I'm pretty sure Max still lives real close to Kuna, Tim. But man, I leave it to Chris to bring on some more of his own kind. He does it. His boy's a game warden. His daughter's a cop. Like, I swear they multiply.
Hey, you gotta keep the good guys close so no one looks at you too much.
I tell you what, there's a reason Jared and I hang out and talk to Chris, because one, his family's all law enforcement. So one, we got a connection in Fish and Game. Two, we got a connection in the cop somewhere. We're waiting for another one, but we always hear what's coming down the pipe, or kind of what's going on here or there. Whether we know Chris, that's the only reason we talk to him or not.
That's all it is. I gotta get my friends the best way I can.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right about the getting people involved, and it's really hard these days, because
Definitely.
there is a lot of social media, and social media is like literally the devil. I mean, it can help you, but it can kill you.
It's so much a double-edged sword.
There you go.
Like for me with my business, I have to do social media. I have to be on there. I have to constantly promote it, constantly post, constantly do stories and stuff like that. But at the same point, I freaking hate it. I mean, I have to do it on one hand to keep my livelihood going, but at the same point, man, there's so much negative that can come from it
and
that I'm like, man, it's just, I don't, if I could, without my business, I would get rid of it completely.
Yep.
But I can't because it's
No, that's all it is. There is no
necessity.
classifieds no more.
Yeah.
There is no classifieds. There is no go to the store. I mean, there's grocery pickup.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's like anything to do with businesses nowadays growing. Yeah, like word of mouth is great, but social media is so much more empowering. It's ridiculous. Like I can see if I'm paying attention when I release a new product, where I release it and where I post it, I can see the traffic almost immediately, where it comes from, what platform it comes from. And it's stupid because if I don't post about it, no one knows. Like it's just, that's just the way that it is.
You can't just post once.
No.
It's a drug. You'll get wrapped up in it quick too, especially when it comes that time of year where the antis come out or a initiative comes out. Facebook blows up, Instagram, and you're in these. Man, if they got rid of social media and you could just go somewhere and talk about something,
oh man,
90% of the people wouldn't show up.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, social media has been a great thing, but also it's been very detrimental. I mean, I see a lot of these posts. It's like, let's just kill social media and go back to coffee shop talks. And you know what? I love coffee shop talks. I mean, I'd love to drive to New Mexico and sit in a coffee shop and bullshit with Benny. I would.
Gas station story.
Like I really would truly enjoy it. But
that might be even the benefit of the Midwest a little bit, because some of that stuff still happens to where you got the pole barn and you drive up and down the gravel and you see the old gentleman still with his coffee in the morning sitting in his pole barn with the garage up, and then you start to get people there and talking. I would agree 100%. I think that
most definitely, and like I say, it's just social media is very much a double-edged sword. It has been the detriment of this country, but it's also been a great thing for small businesses, plain and simple.
It's dumbed us down. I tell you that. I went to the dark side and been using ChatGPT.
I noticed that in that thing you said earlier.
Yeah,
today. That was straight up ChatGPT.
That's exactly what it was, and it's amazing. I have, as a private investigator, I was doing a bunch of stuff, and the girl used to work for me. She was like, ChatGPT, and I'm all, no, I'm good. I'm just gonna, man. I did it one time, and it threw out the answer. It was actually it was for a PI. Man, I don't remember what it was. Oh, I was like just a form. Like, how do I do this? And when it put it out there, I was like, dang. And it's that ChatGPT is gonna dumb us down.
I tell you what.
Hey, it's already taking place.
When
government's seen to that.
When more and more rednecks figure out ChatGPT, we're in trouble.
We sound
it's going to make us all sound real smart. I mean, that's going to make Jared look like a sterling scholar.
Hey,
just
can you imagine having ChatGPT on a classified ad back in the 90s?
Oh man.
Oh, it'd be great.
I could have made some money.
Oh yeah.
So those long range shooters with their shooting apps and their windage and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, with the apps. My buddy. So we went out shooting rifles, and he just bought this 300 PRC. Got it zeroed at 300. Went on ChatGPT, set his round and his grain.
Yep.
And now he said he was zeroed in at 300, and he wanted every I don't know. I'm not much of a shooter, so it's kind of hard to say. Like click MOA stuff.
Yeah,
Out
put
to
in it
1,200.
wanted his MOA or whatever his scope set at for how many
Yeah.
clicks for how far he's shooting. Oh yeah,
Yeah. Out to 1,200, and it gave him
spits it out.
everything.
Yep.
And he tested it at 1,100 and drilled it.
Yep.
Yeah.
After
See,
just getting it zeroed at 300.
Hey, when I first started, I was like, hey, how do I build a resume? And it was, oh, that's what I did. I needed a resume for my company for a lawyer. And I said, hey, I own a PI company. That's all I put. How do I do a resume? And it literally threw a resume out. I'm like, damn, I asked you like a dumb question. Now I'm like, hey, I have a nonprofit. This is what I want to do on this day, this time. It's going to be cloudy. It's whatever. Like, you just put in a little more information and it just blows up. I'm like, holy crap, man.
And then you got the sad thing. You're gonna be me in late April. This mountain lion did this and this. The track went this way. What do I do? And it's just gonna send me back a can't help you, dumbass.
You know, I asked it, man. The one day I'm like, I'm gonna ask it about, and I'm like, how do I become more ambitious? And it said, you're not born with it. Basically called me a pussy and said, get out there and do it.
Yeah, quit being a procrastinator.
That's exactly what it did. It said, here's a list of stuff you should be doing, you fat lard. Yep.
What it really said was you should have listened to Benny, dumbass.
Yep.
Right.
You know, I
crazy?
think all this money that we've been raising, we should start a new campaign just to pay the clumps to put up with Chris for 6 months.
Benny, I don't think we could raise enough.
Oh yeah, I
Hey,
can talk to the boys. They'd have so much fun. We could start him out with Tyler, with the 4-year-old girl that goes horseback in the night.
I don't know if I could keep up with her.
Well, you don't have to keep up with her. It's just a matter of being in the clan. And
Well,
then Riley. Yeah, Riley and Riley's wife, Sam, they're the ones that had that 3-year-old that jumped off their porch that was 13 feet in the air, got up and had a scratch on his face.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. No, you know, I'm already supposed to go down and gold mine with John. And man, once I get gold mining, my dad just got back into it. His buddy, his wife has passed away. So they started going through his gold mining stuff. Then they decided to go do a little gold mining. And now my dad's going right back down there this weekend again to do
yeah. I took that trailer down there. So luckily I'm getting ready to move and I have a cargo trailer that unfortunately where I live, I can't keep it. So I loaded it with some stuff and took it down to Chris's dad's. And he said, well, how long is it going to be here? I said, well, till next Sunday. He said, well, you won't mind if I take it gold mining, will you?
Hey, as long as you leave a little gold in there, you go right.
Yeah, you take it. You just leave me an ounce or two. We'll be good.
Oh boy.
You
What
know
else
what
you
would
got
be
going on?
interesting? I would think it would be interesting for a show like tonight to have just Steve and Missy in a room and let them talk about beagles and some of the names he mentioned. I know Missy's had some of that blood too.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, and she's in Oregon, Steve, and she has beagles.
Missy Fix.
Yeah, I haven't seen her on tonight.
Yeah, she chimed in early. She's here.
Oh, is she?
She probably jumped off. Where is Missy? Usually she asks a lot of questions when it comes to beagles too.
Yep.
Raising them young and tough.
And that was what I started out. I started out with beagles because again, it was kind of tied to my childhood. We were always rabbit hunting and whatnot. So I actually started out with beagles. And I've had people ask me too, it's like, man, how many beagles do you need? It depends what your goal is, but I started out with just 3. I got 10 now, but I started out with just 3, and you can really see some good dog work with just 3 dogs. I mean,
but they're putting them in with the hounds now. They're like breeding them and running lions. Brandon found out I had a half beagle, and he said, send it to me. And I'm thinking about sending that half beagle to Brandon, have him run them, and then instead of relying on somebody else for a dog to give a kid, if Brandon's going to tell me, and I might be able to get the other one that came with that dog because the girl gave it to her brother-in-law. So I'll send him a couple beagles and have them work them, see if they do any good. That dog does good already. I took it to the hound trials first time, and we just threw it in some stuff, and we put it in the water trial, and it swam, and it went to the tree. So I'm like, damn, that's pretty dang good just for a first time in the water, you know?
Yeah.
So that might be what I do is give that beagle to Brandon this year and let him run it. And maybe when we do our like support a youth hunter, we'll have that dog and
just
not rely on anybody.
put a stipulation in there that he can't let Jared take it.
Brandon's mad at Jared right now because he gave his dogs away.
Oh no.
He did. And Brandon loves those dogs he got from Jared. Jared said, here's a couple good bear dogs, maybe. But I think them dogs are going to turn out better than bear dogs.
They might. They're doing pretty. He's in love with them right now, and I gave my 2 away when I was welding the fence up.
Oh, out of them that cur.
Yeah. They're good dogs. I mean, the 2 females I had, they'd run off, take off every now and then, and go hunt and stuff. And I'd take them in the mountains with me.
They still do run off.
Purebred paper.
No, they're not. Farthest thing from a purebred.
Hey, you let the boss talk.
Yeah.
Don't you cut her off.
Hey, she just bought you a horse.
Yeah.
She
Come
did.
on, Sarah. Sarah, get in the picture here.
There is no way you cut her off.
No.
There it is.
There you go.
Push him off the chair, Sarah.
Right.
Do you use your beagles for a tournament? You go out or the
trials?
Trials?
Yeah. I do once in a while. I used to trial a whole lot when I was first getting into it. But I don't trial as much anymore. Actually, we used to have 3 or 4 clubs, and there was like 5 or 6 years in there that we only had maybe 1 club, and they only hosted a few hunts a year. Now I got another buddy, Ryan Elson, who runs Mid Iowa Beagles. They're just starting their club. It's been running for a couple years now. There's a few more clubs popping up. So I think stuff goes in cycles a little bit, you know, where you get people who have maybe coon hunted or trialed a lot, and now they don't want to go out at night no more. They still want to do that. And now it's hunting, you know, beagles or squirrel dogs are becoming more popular too, because you can do it in the daytime. You don't got to stay up super late. And everybody knows it's way cheaper to feed a beagle than one of them big hound dogs. So I think that helps a little bit too.
So you don't. Is it a beagle kind of the thing in your state, or do they got like what else? What are the bigger hounds? What else is everybody running in your state?
Mainly walkers. I think in Iowa it's mainly coon.
Yeah.
But it's walkers are popular here. You will get some little bit of blue ticks, but walker dogs. That's mainly.
Did you guys on the Warner Glen? He had blue ticks first, right, Benny?
I think that's what he said.
And didn't he say didn't he say that those blue ticks were taking too long on the cold track, too cold, and they brought walkers in? Did I misunderstand that?
No, I think you're right, Chris. I think what he said was that they were hammering on older tracks and, you know, not producing enough lions. And so they got some walkers with a little hotter nose that they could smell that stuff, but they weren't hung up on it.
You know, it's kind of, isn't that kind of weird? Because everybody thinks the blue tick's kind of a trash dog, right? Like it's coons and bears, and the walkers are the dry ground dogs. But then you hear Warner talk about how the blue ticks were too cold nosed, and they brought in the walkers, the hotter nosed walkers. It's kind of contradicts what a lot of people think.
Well, for a point of reference, Clell Lee was instrumental in getting the blue tick recognized as a breed in the UKC. And so, you know, the Lees, they didn't hunt anything but bears and lions.
Yep.
Well, a lot of the old timers had a lot of blue tick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that pilot dog out of the Lee boys? Was that a red dog?
I think so.
Man, I just listened to all those episodes too. I'm pretty sure he was red. I
I
just
don't have that.
went back through when I was bored the other day driving over to Safford and listened to all the Dale Lee episodes that Chris has put up. And I'm pretty sure he was red, but don't take that for 100% correct.
But they said
But
that
I,
dog
you
was
know,
probably the smartest and best dog they had.
Yeah.
yeah, that dog got killed when his brother was hunting it.
Yeah.
A lion.
They talked a lot about, and I noticed that listening to the tapes there, that they talked a lot about, they hunted down south, but and I could be wrong on the name of it, but like that Cave Creek, what's it called? Jared, do you know what I'm talking about? It's down south in some of the
The
mountains down there.
Superstitions?
It could be, but he kept calling it like Cave Creek Canyon or the Cave Creek Drainage.
Okay, yeah.
If you go back and listen to a lot of those Dale Lee tapes that Chris has been putting out on the podcast, you listen for that Cave Creek name and he spits it out a lot. And honestly, it was a lot where they got into some trouble and some nasty stuff, but they were always catching lions in that area.
I think there's a possibility that Kelly's watching us tonight. She should chime in because I think that they hunted a lot down there on the Arizona New Mexico border,
Yeah,
like the Balencios, and down there in the Chiricahuas and all of that
yes,
country. So
he did mention the Chiricahuas a few times and a couple other ones, but I swear it was always a lot of his stories. He's like, yeah, because it was one when he was getting ready to head up to Oregon on the train, and his brother came and said, hey, I got dogs ledged up here, something. You have to send your dogs on the train and come with me back to get these dogs taken care of, and you'll catch up to your dogs another day. And
yeah,
it really, that's what he did. And it I swear it was in that Cave Creek Canyon drainage area right there. So
they were raised down there at Paradise,
Mm.
and their mother had a boarding house hotel, so they did a lot of their hunting right there close to home too.
yeah. And that's what I mean. He said, in his tapes when I was listening to, he's like, this was my home range for, a certain amount of years. And I listened to the Jaguar things. Like honestly, I've listened to the Dale Lee tapes multiple times.
Dale summered in Tucson. Well, no.
Yes.
He ended up living in Tucson when he got old and sick. He lived with his daughter.
Yeah.
But when he was guiding, him and that guy that live in Idaho now, they lived on top of the Catalinas all summer.
Mm-hmm.
They had a house down in the Blue, right, Benny?
His brother had a ranch on the Blue.
His brother married a widow woman that had a ranch on the Blue, and Clell's buried on the Blue.
Mm-hmm.
His wife's daughter, Rose, still has their home place, the house, not the ranch.
Okay.
That's cool, man. I tell you what, if I could make it to 80 years old and remember detail, I think about hunts right now, and I'm only 50, and I can't remember. Whoa. I can't remember that I had a orange conch on my saddle that nicked a tree and got a sticker stuck in it and stuck my leg. This guy is. His memory is.
Well, it's like he was saying, something happened where I think it was a lion or something had eaten a baby bear, and he took the baby bear's foot out of the lion's stomach because it was when his brothers were working for the biological survey. And so every lion they caught, they would cut open, do research and stuff like that. So he took that little baby bear's foot, and put it in the pouch on his leggings and kept it there. And he was saying there was something about the contents or the bile or whatever, the liquid that was in that lion's stomach that almost preserved it. So when he put it in his pouch on his leggings, it never stunk. And he kept it there for months. Like, it was just fascinating. Like, I've listened to him, but it's amazing how many times I've listened to him over, the more and more stuff I catch.
The little details.
Yeah. Like for
the
sure.
Cold Stripe gear ad in there.
Yeah, I did catch that a few times.
Never heard that one before in there, did you?
No.
You know what's funny? What's great is the Bruce Kennedy's interviews, because when he was taking people that came out of the Dale Lee era. So when you hear those guys talk about like Shelley talking about, oh yeah, me and Dale, $5, like they're, you know, all those guys, they always talk about the Lees.
Yep.
And it's such a great segue from Bruce Kennedy, right? And then you get into Dale Lee in the end, and then you get into, so you got Dale Lee in that interview, and then you get into these guys that knew Dale Lee. It's just amazing to me. And then now you got Brett doing these interviews that knew these guys like Carol Shelley, and you know, and they're still in their 60s, and it's just that's the stuff, and that's why we do the podcast, obviously, and that's why I just keep putting. I don't care if someone else took those and put them on there. Those Lees need to be put everywhere. The Bruce Kennedys need to be put everywhere. You know, these young guys need to learn what it was to be an actual houndsman.
Well, it's like you were saying, like I want to be 80 and still remember all these things. And as much as on Chris's podcast, I probably shouldn't say this, but the other Chris did a podcast.
Chris Powell.
Yeah, so he did a podcast with Stan Meekum.
I think it's time to go. I'm not sure, but
all right. So he did a podcast with Stan Meekum, and so Stan is well into his 80s now. But I know very well, at 80 and 81, he was still riding and catching lions. And you go talk to him now, his mind's starting to slip a little, but he'll tell you stories from clear back in the day, or even stories from recent. And eventually, if you sit there long enough, his stories will date and date and date. And eventually you'll hear a story from a lion he caught 4 years ago. And eventually it'll come back to where the first dog he ever owned, or this dog that was such a good dog back in the 60s, back in the 50s. And his stories just go from one to the next, and you learn so much, and you pick up so much of what these old timers have to say that it's irreplaceable, you know. And we're blessed that some of these guys keep their minds as long as they do, for sure.
I feel like I'm not going to be like that. There's sometimes I don't remember what I'm supposed to do in 10 minutes. And I don't remember what I did yesterday. So to hear the little guy, and maybe it's diet.
No, it's too much peyote.
Could be.
He lives up there too close to the White Mountain Apache. That's too much peyote.
I got Navajo medicine friends.
Yeah. That's that. Anyways.
No, it is, and I love listening to those guys. And like you said, you can listen to those over and over and catch something different. You know, and Dale tells it like he don't skip a beat. He don't say, hang on, it was no, he just rambles. He does not stop. It just continuous. Proc, all them guys. You know, I got a bunch more coming too. Warner Glenn that Brett just did, that's going to come out. Not this Monday, probably next Monday. Who else do I got? I got a bunch scheduled out. You know, Mike Leonard, I'm going to put his on that Brett did. But that stuff is such great information for these guys that are getting into it.
Yeah.
So what's like the process of starting a cat dog then? Is it similar to what we would do for coon or even rabbit dogs, where, you know, you kind of lay, or I guess I don't even, what's the process most of y'all use for starting a cat dog?
Everyone's different out here.
Yeah.
Patience, time. I think, and I'll probably make everybody mad. I think it's all starting a dog is, Benny will probably disagree more than anybody, but I think, like, I let my dogs run free when they're pups until the neighbors start calling me and they're way a mile away on the road. And they're like, hey, I think your pups are here. So I'm the only one right here with hounds. So they know, and they all call me. But I mean, me and Benny's talked about, if you're going to build just a lion dog, why are you going to run coon? But I always think getting them interested in game, no matter what it is. The guy that I got some dogs from my second go around, he said, let them chase whatever they want until it's time not to.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of went with that. And I'm spoiled now because I have older dogs. And I think, and I've said it before and people don't agree with me, but I think to be probably a top, like to be a good houndsman, you have to take those trials and errors and raise a puppy and learn what not to do before you learn what to do. Because if you know what to do and you're buying dogs and just going out and hunting, yeah, you're going to catch and you're going to be a good guide and but I don't think you're going to be able to.
You always have to throw the guide thing in there.
Well, there's, I mean, honestly,
them guides.
I mean, there's a difference in a guy that can take a bot dog or something and go catch and harvest, produce for clients versus someone that can make a dog from scratch. There's guys that can buy a dog and go hunt and still have great success. Like I have nothing against them. There's guys that do nothing but buy 4 to 6 year old dogs consistently and they go guide, they catch lions, they catch bears, they do. But there's also something to be said besides there's people that hunt hounds and there's a dog man, and there's a very big difference.
There's people who want to train their dogs and there's people who want to run their dogs.
Yeah.
I personally love having litters. Some people we know
you got shitload of
don't
kids.
like training litters, don't like puppies.
I just hate having females laid up for 2 months or whatever it is.
Mine fell perfect this year.
That stuff drives me nuts. But like all I do is once they hit 5 months and can wear a collar, they just go with. That is it. I don't like some guys do scent drags and all that stuff. I don't. They just go with, and if they self-start, they self-start.
Yeah, that's honestly a lot of what I've done is you give them time, you let them grow, and it's 5-6 months you take them out. When you cut the big dogs loose, whether it's a snow track, I mean a dirt track is definitely harder on them younger pups, but if they want to go and they have the drive to go, they'll go. And if they fall out within 500 yards, a mile, you know what? They tried. You go pick them up and you keep them with you. You walk them in, you keep going, and like a snow track, you kick them dogs out and they treat in a mile and that pup only makes it a quarter mile, and you hike in, you pick that pup up and you keep going and you take it to the tree. The next time he's going to make it farther or farther, or the first time he might make it, plain and simple. But you let them decide when they're ready.
I will.
And I'll let you know.
Yeah.
The crazy thing about hunting the dirt is like what Dustin said. It's way harder on a pup to do anything really with it. But it is easier to keep a pup entertained with the track in the dirt. Because this is just my own stupid experiences, but you put your old dog down first, let him go, and then you let the young dog go behind him. And usually that old dog will blow through and leave that puppy behind. Well, then, like they said, they might go a quarter mile, and then come back or lay up or what have you. In the dirt, I could always, all right, you're back with me. Let's catch up so you can get earshot again. And like you nudge them into them in the dirt.
Oh,
now,
definitely.
do they do anything while they're there? No, they kind of just walk around and see what everyone else is sniffing. But eventually they pick it up.
But at the same point, whether they're doing anything or not, they're there experiencing it, they're seeing it, and they're learning. Because sometimes you'll have these pups that start at 6 months, and from at 6 months, they're phenomenal. They're a rock star. They're picking it up. They're going with the dogs. They're contributing. Whether they're leading, it's a different story. But they're there. They're contributing, and they don't miss a beat. Or you have some of these dogs that do nothing. Like I kid you not, do nothing till a year and a half, and then a year and a half old, everything that they've watched and soaks up all of a sudden just hits. And they go from a not worth a plug nickel almost dog that sits at your feet to one of the best dogs in the pack that contributes, that not only contributes, but is leading, is picking up loses, is really proving it. And it's just, you know what? They took that much longer to get there, but sometimes those early starters will peak at 4 years old, and these late bloomers, they keep getting better and better and better till they hit like retirement age.
Yeah.
So it's hard because everybody wants an early starter. You don't want to be frustrated with a pup that's 8 months old that won't do nothing, or even a dog at a year old that doesn't want to go, because it's hard. At a year old, you're like, you know what? You should be trailing. You should be treeing. You should be doing something. And they don't. And so it's all very specific when it comes from houndsman to houndsman on what people expect and what they don't. But also, it also comes from the breeding of the dog and the lines of the dogs. But even in that, somewhat in some of these certain lines, you'll have some dogs that start at 6 months. Like from a certain cross from people that I get my dogs from, I had a male that started at 6 months old. I walked him into his first tree at 6 months old, and he never missed a race after that. Never. Whether it was bear, whether it was lion, he was making it. And then a same pup from that same cross that was made like 5 years later didn't start till a year and a half old. But at a year and a half old, that pup went from 0 to 100 in a day. Like, it was nuts. And both are phenomenal dogs now, but it'll be interesting to see once we hit these older years whether one peaks and one keeps going, or whether they kind of stay the same, different. Like that's the stuff that fascinates me when it comes to how they start.
Well, there's no different than kids, right? You have a kid that like behaved, or a kid that's a brat, right? Let's say your sister has a kids that are brats. You have kids that are perfect. When they get together, they're going to follow those bad habits most of the time.
Well, you have enough kids to do a full study.
I do have. That's where I'm coming from. You know what I mean? So when you have dogs that are trailing and going, I think I don't even hardly train puppies no more. I don't do drags a whole lot. I'm kind of spoiled, but I let them, I train them their manners, and there's nothing better than taking a 8-week-old, 12-week-old, 16-week-old pup to camp and letting them run around camp.
Just letting them live.
Get in everything.
Oh, it's great. They come out better, in my opinion. And then when you start putting them with your dog, I had Pato and Vaca. I still have Vaca. Pato got killed by bees, but they were 4 months old, and I started a bear at Lake Mountain, and they would just run with me. You know what I mean? They'd stay by me. They'd go to the dogs. They'd stay by me. Shoot, man, them dogs went probably a good mile before they kind of gave up. And I picked them up. I called them to me, and they came to me, and I said, damn, good. And then they just, man, when you have older dogs, it really takes a lot of stress off your training.
Oh,
but I also started my own dogs. I didn't go buy dogs at all. Yeah. I mean, I was catching porcupines and skunks and squirrels, rabbits, and I knew what not to do. Yeah. But once I finally caught that bear, or I caught that lion, once they get on that game, they know what they're supposed to do. Especially when a dog knows. Why do you think they got service dogs? Them dogs know when you got damn cancer. Them dogs know when you're going to have a seizure. You're telling me they don't know you're happy as a son of a bitch? You know what I mean? They know. And they know. And they also know when you're mad. When you're like, what are you guys doing? Leave it. When you're screaming, leave it, they're like, oh, shoot.
Oh, definitely. So I got a question for Steve. So with the beagles versus the leopards, what do you see the difference when it comes to kind of starting these dogs and how they start and work versus one breed versus the other? Do you see a lot of difference, or kind of what do you see there?
I think it's a difference in mentality. Most rabid
Cop,
dogs, for the
cop.
most part,
Cop in the house.
Oh,
That guy
Hey,
right over there is a
hey,
cop.
take
too.
it easy. Take it easy.
You're gonna make Jared jealous.
I know.
Get a
He's got
taser.
bigger muscles than him.
Don't take much.
A former welder cop.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Former welder, construction worker,
Clinic worker.
clinic worker. She's done it all. Got a truck with a dog box in it now that she pays money for.
Hey, there you go. She's no longer living off the Chris Watson train, huh?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, she mid a bad choice being an adult.
It happens. Anyways, back to the question, Steve.
I think it's a different in mentalities because most rabbit dogs, they only really have one job. Like they're gonna run a rabbit. They're
Mhm.
running. They're if you got them fairly bred well, they're gonna track a game, whatever you put them on. Now, some will do it better than others. If you want a front runner, like you were mentioning earlier, if you want a dog to lead or you want a dog to be, a pack mate, is a little bit different there. But I always say it's a little different because a coon dog or even a dog that trees in general is tougher because they got to do two things. Like you can have a dog that can track amazing, but when he get to the tree, he don't do nothing. So, what good is that, so to speak? Or it could be the flip to where you got a dog that trees, blows the top off it every single time, but he don't have the mind to work a track.
Mm.
Most beagles are gonna run, and you gotta look. Beagles are naturally pack dogs, which I think some people may not agree. I think even the hounds are naturally pack dogs too. We just kind of train them to get away, depend on, I guess coon dog talking. We want them to get away, get us, get by themselves and tree by themselves and all that sort of stuff. I honestly like kind of like y'all talking. I kind of just take my dogs with. I don't mind them necessarily packing, as a start because they'll start learning and developing because it's a natural thing for them. But like I said, the coon dogs or tree dogs, they have to do two different things. So it's a little different mindset. Now with the leopards, I always tell people too, it's like now you fast starters, but it's almost like you were talking. I mean, you hit it right on the head in my mind to where they may start a little bit earlier, but the leopards, once they do start, once they do click, they continue to get better up until they pass away. I
Mm.
mean, literally, they just continue to keep peaking and getting better to where I have buddies who have had walkers or just other dogs, exactly what you said, to where they'll peak at a very early age or they'll start at 6 months old and they get a year and a half and the dog, he just over it. He's not continuing to progress like he was. I think some people got to watch that early starting dog too. I'm not no different. I like seeing them do something early, but even my dog Bama, who's a leopard, and I would say, and people have said too, he's one of the top leopards for what he does. He didn't start early at all. Like he could tree squirrels fairly early, but he did not want nothing to do with a coon. He really didn't start messing with coons until he was almost 12, 14 months old.
Mm.
I had a situation where, we up here, I'll try to train him where I'll trap a coon, just show him, just kind of get him fired up that way, and then I'll, let him go. And I had a coon trap, and I was with my mentor, Mike, and he had a cur dog at the time. He's working and we have a coon trapped, and the other dogs is going nuts, just going crazy on this coon. Bama literally went next to it and sat and turned his back away from the coon, didn't look at it, did nothing. And I'm just sitting there like, what the heck is going on? And you get into that, like exactly what you say, you get into that age where like, come on, man, you got to be doing something. But I knew that he had a nose because I could see if you could tree a squirrel, you could tree a coon. Like, come on now, he didn't want nothing to do with it. And I had a cur at the time too, where I was training. I was hoping to run them as a team because, she was super gamey, but she wouldn't tree. But I knew Bama could tree. And one night I was almost at my wit's end with the whole deal. And I had a coon I was trapping. It's my last one. I'm like, dude, something's got to happen. Or, hey, I don't know what to tell you at this point. Kind of like Chris was saying, like those dogs know. It's like they know, like, okay, I got to do something. And my little cur dog was going nuts on the coon. And Bama, he stuck his neck out as far as he could to the trap. and that coon turned around and snapped that bama, and I literally just saw just that spark fired him up right there. And since that moment at 14 months old, like he never went backwards. You know,
Yep.
I would just consistently take him, and he was just like you said earlier. I agree too, to where they're taking in data, like they're collecting all this time that you keep taking them, just take them, just take them. And, you know, I've had people get upset, like, man, this dog, even rabbit dog, oh man, this dog won't get away from me. He's just staying there, or he'll go out a little bit, then he'll come back. It's like he's a baby, man.
Yep.
Like if you think about taking a kid to a park, you know, they're only gonna go so far the first few times, and then they may
Yep.
come back or check in with dad or mom, just look to make sure you're still there, you know. And then they'll go a little further the next time. Before long, they're out, you know, playing like with the other kid. That's how I kind of look at it. So letting them taking all that information, and then when it does start, I mean, it's like sky's the limit. It's like
Well,
sky's the limit. I really believe that.
and there's
Some people shy away from them leopards because they don't necessarily start. But I'm like, man, if you have patience with them, they would probably dang near be the best dog you've had.
Yeah.
Just because they hunt for you, they continue to learn, and they when they look at you, like when a leopard looks you in the eyes, like you can tell he's looking at you, like he's for you all the way, you know. But
yeah. Well, and there's no better feeling. I mean, I love watching a good dog work, watching a seasoned dog do what they're meant to do. But man, that's a hell of a good feeling when that switch flips in that pup, and you're like he goes from here to here,
yeah,
you know, and you're like, oh, I mean, man, that feels good. Like all of a sudden, it's like, son of a bitch, he's got it. Like he figured it out, and then the next time out, you're like, what the hell?
yeah.
You were doing so good last week.
But man, there really is just, you know, when you're truly, you know, I mean, not for lack of better words, but to go along with like the, you know, the theme of your podcast, you know, when you're truly a dog man, when you're in it for the dogs and you love the dogs and you truly understand the dogs, there is nothing better than watching a young dog come into his own and truly figure out his genetics and his breeding and what he's been brought into this world for. And watch him succeed and watch him flourish in that is something that's poetic and truly, like, words can't describe it. Like, I mean, it makes a 40-year-old man feel like a 10-year-old kid that just you know, won whatever, or just, you know, like it's amazing.
Hearing
It's
that
hard to
beagle pup open up for the first time,
Oh,
it makes
yeah.
you, oh my goodness. You know, I imagine for y'all dogs, but at the same point, it's giving homage to all the veterans who put, because the dogs came from somewhere. Like somebody put the time to make these crosses to even get to where we are right now. So always paying respect to whoever came before me and put the time in, you know, showing the love and making these crosses to be successful. That's the only reason I got this good of a dog, because somebody put the time in, you know, to even get to what I have.
Oh,
I
Decades.
always try to tell younger or newer people starting, if possible, there's nothing wrong with buying a younger dog or buying a dog that's already running, so you can start to figure it out, so you can figure out what a good dog is. Because it's frustrating when you first starting out, you know, and I try to give as much information that was given to me as starting pups, and it's very different, like what y'all were talking about. I agree. Each houndsman have his own little way of doing it, but we all after the same thing. We just want good dogs, good friends, and trying to make memories that we can go with.
Oh, definitely. You know, I mean,
I think our guest is a little bit crazy.
all right, Benny, let's hear it.
He fits right in.
Where's all this? I don't need the old guy's attitude. I already know more than they ever thought. We need to reinvent the wheel because the one we have isn't fast enough. I mean, for crying out loud, where the hell did you get your education, Mr. Thomas?
My mentors, and learning the wrong thing to do, because that saves you so much time, really. You know, if you're paying attention to it, like this person is here to teach you why the detriment of growth, the way to kill growth of anything is saying I know. So like, even it's kind of fun, like I'm a field training officer, so like, I'm taking new officers and trying to teach them how to do the job and that sort of stuff. Man, when you get people, especially this generation, to where they're like, "Oh, I know," it's like you kind of let
Well,
them, okay, like, okay, let me go out there, and let them experience it for themselves. And then when they come back and lick their wounds, and then you tell them like, okay, hey, you just got bopped on the head, didn't you? Yeah. Now let's work together. I'm not trying to say I'm better than you or nothing. I've just been there, done that sort of thing. So it's like, if
Yeah.
you ever want, my papa
Yeah.
always taught me that. Like, if you ever want to learn something from somebody else, take a person who's been there, done that, and just listen. Now you may
Oh,
have to sift
that's
through
the
what
that's
might
the
work for
key
you,
word.
what don't. But
Listen,
listen.
because it's not just the mentor. The mentor can be like an FTO. They come out of the academy, and of course they think they know everything. But the academy is just my daughter's FTO told her academy is just a toolbox. They give you the tools. Now you got to learn how to use them. It's
Well,
the same
that's
with the dog, right?
Well,
But it's up to her to listen, just like it is to you. It's probably 40% mentor, and the other 60% is shut the F up
well,
and listen to what he has to say.
You guys
very
are
much
giving me
so.
like
I mean,
when I would
all right,
when I was
Jared, I'll let
when
you
I
spit
well,
it out.
yeah, thank you, Dustin, because it totally fits in here. My old man used to say, "You don't have to open your well, how was it? Everyone thinks you're an idiot. You don't have to open your mouth and prove it."
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well,
well,
I mean, honestly, my favorite thing to do when we do these podcasts is to stir the shit, and then I'll wait till Benny folds his arms, and when Benny folds his arms, I wait just a minute, and then I'll be like, "All right, Benny, what do you think?"
Let her rip.
Because I know
well,
he's been there, he's done that, and he has knowledge, and I love to listen to his knowledge. Honestly, when Benny and I talk on the phone, it's not a 5-minute conversation
right,
ever. It's
no.
a half hour to 45 minutes every time, and mostly it's because I'll sit there and listen. Sometimes I'll interject, sometimes I won't, but I love to listen to the knowledge that these people that have been there and done that and have it, plain and simple.
Well, where does he get his knowledge? Just like breeding, right?
Yeah.
It took him decades and decades and decades of someone breeding this nose, this size, this foot, this tail, whatever, this color, to get to where you are. And if you really, I don't think people really talk about the minute little details of what it took all the way back from the Ben Lilly times.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he got a dog from the pound and all of a sudden that dog wasn't a colt no more, that dog was some great hidden treasure that he started breeding.
Well, that was like so the Dale Lee tapes again. Sorry, they're all fresh on my mind. But when they met Ben Lilly. I think it was Dale Lee's brother that met Ben Lilly somewhere, and he had some dogs in his truck. And Ben Lilly looked at him and said, "Do you want to sell that dog?" He picked out the ugliest, most goofy looking dog, and he said, "That's your best dog. Do you want to sell it?" And he said he had never been with them dogs before, but Ben Lilly was able to pick out the best dog in his pack. And he said, "No, I'm not willing to sell it, but you knew which one was the best, plain and simple."
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Hey Ben,
Some people are just natural. John Plump, right?
yeah.
The guy can read a dog's mind. He knows what the dog's doing, thinking, what he's gonna do, what he's supposed to do, and what he's not supposed to do.
just
it's interesting. I just asked that question and said it like that because I'm extremely fluent in sarcasm. So,
we know.
we
know.
I thought I'd just stir it up. But the very first time I went to Larry Hendricks's house, we'd never talked. We'd never, I'd heard of him. He'd never heard of me. And I was looking for bloodlines. And so after he interviewed me, we go out and walk through the dogs. And he said, so out of all these dogs, if you had your choice, which one would you breed to? And I picked his lead dog. And he said, well, you just happened to pick the one that's the best here. I said, well, I guess I'm just lucky that way. And he looked at me and cranked his head sideways and said, time will tell, Mr. Griffin, time will tell. And but then let's go back to talking about the know-it-all. attitude. Larry Hendricks was old. He was still hunting on the Wallapai Reservation, but that was toward the end of his career. And he asked me, I've mentioned this before. Have you ever seen this happen? This is what happened to me last week. And it's like any of us, I don't care who we are, any of us that think we have no room to learn, we might as well just go step in front of a bus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very
Man,
much
that always
so.
takes me back to that story where that tractor trailer got stuck under the bridge and they had 4 or 5 engineers there. And one of the engineers, 10-year-old kid, came out and, what are you doing? Well, we got to get this tractor with a loader on it out from under this overpass. And the kid said, why don't you just let the air out of the tires?
Simple.
Simple.
But-
because his mind was fresh and it was a different set of eyes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
even these people, I've always tell people, I'll always take your, like, what you got to say, your advice, whatever, because like I said, when I do PI work, I get so enthralled in a case. I'm like, damn, what do I do? I will pull out a book that I got in my drawer right here that says dummies, private investigator for dummies. And I'll go through that book and it'd be like, do this, this, and this. I'm like, simple. I overthink. I think we all overthink, and to go back to mentors, it's not a dime a dozen no more. It's hard to find a mentor because of social media, because of, I know everything. I seen it on YouTube.
Yep.
I seen it on Google. Like, I don't care what you've seen or read. It's a whole, every dog is different. Every situation is different. The weather's different. It changes everything.
And so what's hard, and I'm probably gonna like create some controversy here, but
We always do.
So back in the day, like in Benny's day, these gentlemen,
Long time ago.
Way.
so they dealt with the hand that.
Careful, Dustin.
Yeah, he's got the spear.
Are we
I got
talking
I
AD
got
or
a pen,
BC?
Benny.
Are we talking AD or BC?
So those guys just, they just played the hand that they were dealt. They didn't have the access to information. They didn't have the podcast to listen to. They didn't have the internet to go and do the research that we do nowadays. So
ChatGPT.
So for anyone in this day and age to be ignorant is their own damn fault, because there is so many podcasts, there's so many books out there to go and learn just a little bit more, like a little bit more to make yourself better. But you have to be open to it, and you have to be willing to it to want to learn from these generations before us. Because we can't go talk to them. Like I can't make a phone call and talk to Warner Glenn or Dale Lee or Ben Lilly. So you take all these, I've read the Ben Lilly book. I've read the Greatest Guides book, by all these guys, and I've listened to these tapes and stuff, and you listen to it time and time again, and you take little pieces to make yourself better. But you're never finished learning. And that's one thing I pick up from the generation before us, like Benny and them. They were never done learning, but they never had the resources that we do now. Yeah. And so for us to not continue that is a shitty excuse.
Yeah. And that's why I like, sometimes I do have guests on my podcast, and I try to pick people who have the history. And it's kind of for a selfish reason, to be honest. And the reason is, like, they are a history book. Like, they are literally a history book. So if I can pick their brain, and, they may have grandkids and that sort of stuff, that they can hear their papa talk about dogs, because mine passed away before I was really even old enough. And he used to have dogs before I was really old enough to pick his brain and actually, figure out what he knew. So it's like, all the people you have access to that are older, you've been there, done that, man, you have to take that history book and figure out a way to be a part of it. Just listen to it, pass it on. Like you said, some of the guys you may not be able to call and talk to right now, but the fact that you read the books, the fact that you listened to the audio tapes that they had, and now you can still go share and spread that to somebody, you still passing on that history. And I'm so big on just really paying respect to the people who did it before you, because you wouldn't be here if they did it, you know.
Yep.
I don't know everything, and I ain't gonna sit here and claim that I do, but I'm always learning. I'm willing to. Like I said, sometimes you gotta sift through. Sometimes you gotta sift through stuff people say, but there's always something in there that you can use, and it may not be on that dog right now, and it may not be on that situation right now, but you may have a 2 litters down the way. Oh man, I remember, you know, Jim told me this. Now I can use that information, but if you had your ears closed, you would miss that opportunity. There's
Oh.
gems in everything, man. If you just pay attention, know what you're looking for.
Oh, very much so. And it takes a humble person to sit back and realize that they don't know everything. Even someone that's been hunting their own dogs for 30 years, 40 years plus as a lifetime career, like Benny was saying, to call someone, you know, that he was a friend with and confide and say, hey, this happened this day. What the hell do you think? Because I don't know what's going on. I mean, you know what I mean? And to someone, you know, I mean, honest, and I can't speak for Benny, but Benny was probably like, what the hell are you asking me for?
That's exactly what I told him. That's exactly. I said my response was, why would you ask me?
Yeah.
You've seen how many more lion hunts and many more lions, and you've spent how many more hours out there in the country, and why would you ask me? He says, hey, different people see different things. That was his response.
That's exactly
He might have been
right.
in one situation that he's never been in that you said, I flicked a dog in the ear and it worked. He's like,
Yeah.
crap,
What
never
is he
tried
gonna do
that.
that next time out?
Yeah. Well, it's like, you know, something like this dog's doing this, and this. Every time I go out, this dog's doing this and this, and I can't figure it out. And you'll call a guy that's maybe even been hunting 10 years less than you and just be like, hey, you know, just BS. I'm like, I got a dog that's doing this. So it's like, oh, I had one that did that so many years ago and I did this and it fixed it. And it could be as simple as that. You never know. Like you can't ever take for granted just because of lack of years someone's experience. But also you have to take that with a grain of salt as well. That there are some people that have been in it a few years that definitely take that I know everything as a 25-year-old and I can do this and this kind of thing. So it's a fine line, but I mean, honestly, if you're not willing to listen to anyone, no matter how long they've been in it and their experience, then I think you've kind of defeated the purpose on bettering yourself.
You turn a dog loose, that's another experience that you about to learn something.
Mhm.
Because you have no idea what's about to happen. You have an idea what you want to happen, but when you cut them dogs loose and they go out there and do their thing, you have no idea what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
That's another experience you can now chalk up and share with somebody or learn from.
Well, that's like the most famous saying in the book is, that dog won't trash.
Do you guys remember the book The Brave?
Yeah.
With
that's the Mathis hounds,
Steve
right?
Mathis.
Yeah.
So he's in the Sierra Nevada line, and he's got this line killing sheep. And he's got this young pup, and it is trashing on everything. Deer, coyotes. He loses a puppy for like 4 hours, 5 hours. The puppy comes back, goes up to his best dog, and you know how dogs sit there and smell each other's faces? And all of a sudden his old dog just takes off at kind of a hot walk where the puppy just came from. And Steve's done for the day. He's trying to get everyone gathered up and wanted to leave. And this Peruvian that's never been behind a dog hunting said that dog just gave that dog a message. Hold on. And they went a half hour walking behind that old dog, not barking, not saying a word. And that dog ran into a lion kill where he laid the sheep down. And they went 200 yards and treated a lion.
That's nuts.
Like, that story's always stuck out with me.
Well, and that's like me. I would have been like, hell no, I ain't doing that. That's where that pup just came from.
Right?
Damn skunk. I'm not going to go chasing no skunk.
Oh. Exactly. It's just, you know, and that's stuff like that if these old timers, you know, wouldn't have wrote it down, wouldn't have taken the time to share that knowledge, we'd never have heard it. Plain and simple.
Here's how it is.
I'm done sharing, guys. I'm going to go to bed.
I was
I'm
going to
with
say
Benny.
it's about time, but I'm going to end it kind of with this. You can watch 8 hours of video of whatever, and only 2 hours running with Del Lee. You will learn more in that 2 hours than you could learn watching a week of video. And that's where your mentors are important. Because time, just like a dog, you show them game. The more game you show them, the better it is. You know, if you're just doing drags, what is he learning? He's learning that is he following your scent, or is he following the others, like both scents? He's like, hey, he walked this way.
Yeah.
So,
well, like Benny said, the best thing you can do is show up and shut up and just listen and take it all in and experience it. Not interject and give your opinions, just observe and be there and be grateful you can be there.
Steve, we appreciate you coming on and
Very
Yeah,
much.
it's been good.
Thanks, fellas. I
What's your
truly
podcast
appreciate
real
Chris.
quick?
I'm sorry?
Do a little podcast throw out for you. What's your podcast?
Yeah, like I said, I'm Stevie Thomas with Ballin' Out Kennels. I run Thoughts of a Dog Man podcast. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Again, all under Ballin' Out Kennels, BAWLIN, Ballin' Out. And yeah, I appreciate you, Chris, and all the fellas, man. I'm honored that you would ask me to come on, and look forward to listening to more and even talking to you some more. So
Sounds good.
One of these days, you're going to bring me on, and I'm going to bring everybody on this panel right here with me. We're going to infiltrate.
Don't do it. Ain't worth it.
Have a good evening.
Hey, we appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys.
Thanks, guys.
And if anybody is going from Arizona to Washington, Madison has a dog at my house, and I got to get it to Washington or Montana or anywhere in that area. So I need someone to haul a dog. Well, Madison needs someone to haul a dog. If anybody headed that way, what else? What else we got? We got the rendezvous. You ought to try to get over for that rendezvous, August 22nd, 23rd, 24th. You get to meet a bunch of. I got people from Louisiana, Tennessee. Like we had people from New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, Colorado last year come. And that was just me and Brett Vonner sitting around on his Monday Night Live, and we're like, "Hey, let's have a rendezvous." We had like 70 people show up.
Jeez.
It's pretty cool. So if anybody's going to that rendezvous, it's right there on the little ticker down below, azhhr.com. You can go buy your dinner now. It's better to. You got to get it done by about August 15th, so we know how many to feed. But it's this year we got a new area, so it's going to be. We can get in there Thursday if you want to come in Thursday, but it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And if you want to stay there all week and go hunt bear, lion, or man, if you could take a week off, I'll introduce you to another cop. He says he'll probably come out for the week, but he's from Louisiana. And bear, lion, and deer open up over the counter. It's about $300. You come hunt a bear, lion. So,
oh man,
yeah,
bears me with a good time there.
Hey, I'm telling you what, you come out and you'll be out next year. So we're trying to make this pretty big, and I always drop the ball on everything, and I procrastinated, and we're trying to get donators and sponsors going, but I think it's going to be a good time. But just last year, we didn't get into the 11 o'clock Saturday morning, Jared?
Yeah.
And then we had to be out. Well, we could have stayed there, I think, but we didn't do what we were supposed to do. The dinner was already done. We didn't do the auction except around my horse trailer the next morning. We had burritos and my famous 20-year-old elk meat that I made tacos out of. And so, but it was a good time. The Sunday was the best time because we sat around and did nothing but tell stories, whether they were true or not. So, but yep, Louisiana Hunting said he'll be there, and we got a lot of other people going. So if you can sneak away, you ought to jump over this way there, Steve.
Oh yeah.
You might not want to leave though.
That's the problem with it.
Yeah, you might not want to leave. But I appreciate you coming on, telling us a little bit about yourself, and we'll push everybody over to your podcast that way they can learn something and not become dumber listening to ours half the time.
Oh no, man, you boys have fun. That's what I love about it.
Yep.
Love.
All righty, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, sir. Thank you.
We're out of here.
Adios.
Well,